Hey guys, and welcome back to the JTO channel, and in today's video we're going to be doing a Chelsea news video. Today we're just going to be talking Chelsea and some news. Tomori to AC Milan on a permanent move, seeing as the board are happy with him. Tammy Abraham leaving Chelsea, that's a big talking point as well. And other bits and pieces like Donnarumma I've seen today, and Thiago Silva recently as well. So yeah, let's get into this video. So guys, the first piece of news we're going to be talking about today is for Tomori. Now, last night it came out from Fabrizio Romano in his podcast that the Milan board are very, very happy with Tomori, and honestly, I'm not surprised. Maldini actually came out, I think, and said that they're very happy with him and pretty much saying they'd like him to stay, but potentially that the price is too high from what I heard him say. I can't get the exact quotes up, but he said something similar to those lines. And in my opinion, I'm not surprised. Tomori has recently just replaced Romagnoli in the starting 11 for Milan. He played against Roma. I watched that game. Him and that other centre-back's name that I can't, he's Danish, so I can't really pronounce his name, but Romagnoli got dropped for Tomori. And that's massive, considering I think he's their best defender, based on what I've seen of Milan this season. And look, it's in their hands now. I see them negotiating a few with Chelsea. Tomori, honestly, I think his main preference, in my opinion, would be he'd like to stay at Chelsea. But the guy wants to play football, and he's got to think about his career. And I'm sorry, if he's playing consistently in Milan from now to the end of the season, I think he'll go, honestly. And it's going to be sad because I think under Tuchel, we actually don't know the future of our centre-backs. Like, we want a centre-back, but who's going to go? Because right now it looks like Zuma's the likeliest because he's not playing at the moment. But then I'm guessing most of the fan base would rather it be Christensen or Rudiger. Obviously, Thiago Silva, we know, new contract potentially. I'll talk about that later. But, you know, it's really difficult. And Tomori, I think if Milan did want him, I feel like Tomori, what he'll do is he'll maybe talk to Thomas Tuchel at the end of the season and see what Tuchel has maybe planned for him. And if he doesn't have anything, then Tomori will go. Personally, I don't want him to go, but for his career, I think it's the best thing for him. And I'll be really happy for him. And I'm really happy for him now because he deserves this opportunity. He's a good centre-back. He really is. 23 years old, and what he's doing already. I mean, there's no better league to go to in terms of learning how to defend. So with Tomori, look, he could go there permanently. And when Maldini's happy with you, I mean, can you really say no to going to AC Milan when one of the greatest defenders of his generation likes you that much? Come on now. Like, Tomori would be like, nah, forget Chelsea, bruv. I'm staying here in Italy. And you know what? I kind of hope he does for the sake of his career. I really do. I actually really do. Lampard tried to say he wasn't ready. That is cap. That is cap. Milan are in a title race and he's in their first team now. So yeah, that's really the news on Tomori. The board are happy with him. It looks like they're going to try get a permanent move for him. And to me, it looked like Tomori would want it, but I think he will consider his options first. So yeah, let's move on to our next news. Now, the next person we're going to talk about is Tammy Abraham. And obviously, if you saw my video from yesterday, you already know my thoughts on Tammy Abraham. I think he's a good player. I think he has a skill set like no other player at Chelsea at the moment. And I rate him. But the news currently on him is him leaving. And Matt Law came out yesterday, I think. And on his Twitter said that English clubs and European clubs are looking at Tammy Abraham. And Simon Phillips has given more context sort of to that today, saying that West Ham and Southampton are looking at Tammy Abraham. And look, if I'm being honest, I don't want Tammy to leave in it. But it's in a situation where his contract runs out in 2023 and he hasn't committed to a new deal. Reece James has, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has, even though he's on loan. Who else has? There's Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi, right? So the youngsters have committed to a new deal. I'm not sure about Tomori though. He may have or may have not. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Tammy Abraham hasn't committed to a new deal yet. And to be honest, rightly so. Because I think he needs to know what's going to happen with the Chelsea striker situation. And ever since the Haaland rumours have been coming out and they're getting a little bit stronger day by day, it's been reported that Tammy has now, he's considering his options. In my opinion, though, West Ham and Southampton, in my opinion, I'm sorry. If Tammy's going to leave Chelsea and he's going to go to another club in this country, for me, he only goes to a lower level. Now, West Ham, I know, they're currently above us. I know that. But try say that to me at the end of the season. And then we'll talk. Do you know what I mean? Southampton, them man, they're like 11th, 12th in the table, you know? So, for me, if he's going to leave Chelsea, go to Europe. Go to Europe, in my opinion. Go. Because I think go to a decent team that could give you Champions League football. Maybe like a Milan. Maybe like a Dortmund. I think a Dortmund could be looking at him. I reckon a Dortmund could be looking at him, especially if Haaland leaves this summer. I genuinely believe that. So that could be a shout. But in my opinion, I don't want Tammy to leave. I want him to compete with Haaland if we get him, though. That's if we get him. We're not guaranteed to get Haaland. Everyone's gassed, oh, we're going to get Haaland. It's not guaranteed. I think financially, I think we would be the favourites to get him financially. But in terms of Haaland himself, I don't think we're his first choice. I think he'd be looking at a Man City ahead of us. I think he'd be looking at a Real Madrid ahead of us. You know, those two teams. Maybe even Man United ahead of us. Clubs like those, we are not up there with those guys. Like, in terms of, like, maybe the manager, maybe the team, or the history of the club. Like, you know, with Man City, it's the money and the team and the manager. With Man United, it's the history. With Real Madrid, it's the manager, it's the team. You know, it's the history as well. They all have, you know, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, with Haaland, not sure. But going back to Tammy, look, if he leaves, he goes. You know, it's his choice. I'm not gonna blame him. Obviously, he feels threatened by his place, but he knows this is Chelsea and he has to compete for his place here. But yeah, if Tammy leaves, man, it is what it is. Like, it's just one of those ones where, for me personally as well, if he doesn't sign a new contract this summer and we get Haaland, then for me, he has to go. For me, he has to sign that new deal. It's 2 years left. At this point, you either sign the deal or you get sold. It's as simple as that. As much as I rate Tammy, as much as I like Tammy, he needs to sign that contract this summer if he wants to stay at this club and really be Chelsea's potential first choice striker. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Tammy, and let's move on to our next piece of news. So guys, just to talk about little other bits of pieces of news that I've heard today. Obviously, first one coming from Fabrizio Romano. Thiago Silva looks like he could extend his contract. Thomas Tuchel obviously wants him to. It looks like Thiago Silva himself wants to. Chelsea are happy with him. I think everyone sort of is agreeing on the same thing, from our board to Thiago Silva to Thomas to the agent. So yeah, just down to the paperwork, and Thiago Silva will stay here for another season. I'm happy with that personally, although I still think we need another centre back, but I'm still happy with Thiago Silva staying at Chelsea despite the age. But he's someone I wouldn't want to play consistently just because of his age, if you know what I mean. So yeah, the next piece of news has actually come from Simon Phillips as well, saying that about Erling Haaland. So if we don't sign Erling Haaland, then Romelu Lukaku surprisingly could be an option for us to go for if we can't get Haaland. And this one's interesting because Lukaku's season at Inter is really good. I think he's one of their top scorers, if I'm not wrong. Look, they're top of the league. Him and Conte's relationship is brilliant from what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see if we can try get Lukaku back. Would I want him? I don't know. This is something I'm going to have to think about because he is a class striker. He is. But I don't know. I don't know though, you know. 27, prime of his career as a striker, it would be a good option. I think it would be a good option. So we'll see if that story develops more if we can't get Haaland. But yeah, that's a interesting alternative to Haaland, in my opinion, Lukaku. So yeah, that's on Lukaku. The next one is from Football Insider, and it's reported that Ross Barkley. Right, so Ross Barkley, right, this is what I'm going to keep short and sweet. So basically, Aston Villa, they're not convinced by him. And it's reported that Chelsea want 35 million for Ross Barkley if he was to permanently move to Aston Villa. Now, the fact that Aston Villa are not convinced concerns me. And that even proves my point about Ross Barkley as well. Also coming out that Aston Villa would need to see some special performances from Barkley for them to be convinced by him, to buy him. And my thoughts, never rated Barkley. Never. This guy is dead food. I don't know how people rate this guy. I don't get it. Yeah, he has a left foot. Yeah, he has a right foot. Not consistent. And Aston Villa is his level. No wonder he did well at Everton. No wonder at the beginning of the season at Villa, before his injury, he done well. Because that's his level. He's not Chelsea standard. He's not Chelsea standard. So for me, I'd like him to go. 15 million, thank God it was only 15 million. I know if we sell him, we're guaranteed to get a profit because he's English, prime of his career as well. He's 26 years old. So that's all I got to say on Barkley. Thank God that he's not here at the moment. I hope he doesn't come back. I want him to go, I don't know, go back to Everton if you want, or Aston Villa. I don't care. Leave. And the last one we're going to report on, which is an interesting one, is Dean Jones' comments, not comments, but like reporting that Chelsea could keep an eye out for Donnarumma, whose contract expires in the summer for Milan. He still hasn't signed an extension yet at the club. He's 22 years old, I think. Good goalkeeper, but it would be like, so Chelsea are monitoring the situation, and I do feel like we'd go for him if his contract runs out because of Kepa. Now, in my opinion, we only get Donnarumma for me if Kepa leaves. Kepa has to go. And that's why Kepa probably has to play some games to have his value up, because we bought him for 72 million and his value is only like 14 million. You know, we have to build up his value a bit. So, yeah, for me, that would be good if we got Donnarumma if Kepa left. But what would that mean for Mendy? I think he's a good goalkeeper. I'm not sure about him on the ball though with his feet. I think he's a good shot stopper. But Donnarumma, I think is better than him. So yeah, that's all the news that I have for today. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on these rumours on Tomori going to Milan permanently, Tammy Abraham leaving Chelsea potentially, Thiago Silva's new contract extension, Romelu Lukaku being an alternative to Erling Haaland. Jesus Christ, who else did I mention? Just now, Donnarumma to come to us, or we're monitoring his situation because of his contract expiring this summer, and obviously Ross Barkley and Aston Villa not being convinced by him. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.